Michael Quinn Sullivan is president of the nonprofit group Texans for Fiscal Responsibility and joins me now from Austin. Hey, Michael, I know in the past, I think your group or you individually have endorsed Governor Perry's reelect. You've seen all sides of this. Let's talk, first of all, about these comments. It certainly would resonate to Tea Party years, and it's not something, it doesn't go very far beyond what Ron Paul and others have said, although to call the Fed treasonous for printing money and to talk about we can get ugly with you, Ben Bernanke, if you come down to Texas, that does seem to go too far, does it not?
You know, I have to be honest, I haven't spent too much time reading what Governor Perry said, but I think that probably best just to let Governor Perry and his campaign speak for Governor Perry. I think that when you look at the policies that the federal government and the Federal Reserve have pursued over the past couple of years, we see the national result of that. In Texas, we've clearly had some different kinds of success than the rest of the country. We've seen Texas doing pretty well over these past few years. So I would suggest that maybe, however one might choose to turn a phrase, I think the policy results in Texas are probably what we should be looking at.
Well, words do matter when you're running for president. Karl Rove said today that it was not presidential for Governor Perry to say that about the Fed and Ben Bernanke.
I think that probably every single person who's ever opened their mouth with a television camera or a microphone nearby has probably had something utter out that some other pundit somewhere can Monday morning quarterback. Hindsight's always 20/20. We all say things that at some point later think, man, if only I'd been thinking a little bit differently at that moment. But again, I think pundits are really good at coming in after someone says something on the fly. But I think there is some truth to the idea that over the next couple of weeks, you'll see the Perry campaign shifting from with the recognition of being, if not the front runner, one of the front runners, and that does force some changes in operation.
Let me ask you about job creation and the economic record of Governor Perry. You know about this job creation fund that was created, $16 million tech fund. What is your take on that? Do you think it was appropriate to use government money, state government money, to help create these private corporations, which then helped enrich people who contributed to Governor Perry as campaign contributions?
I think there's been a fair amount of misreporting about these funds. I'm not a fan of these funds. My organization and I have long been on the record. We don't like these kinds of, don't like these funds. At the same time, it's very important to make sure that we refer to them accurately. The governor of Texas does not get to decide on his own who does and doesn't receive money. There are a lot more people who've given money to the governor, the lieutenant governor, our House Speaker, who have not received money from these funds than who have. And, by the way, the governor doesn't make these decisions alone. It's the governor, the lieutenant governor, and the speaker, all of whom are elected independently, all of whom behave very independently from each other. So it's important to recognize that in Texas, the way the Texas funds have been set up, the governor doesn't have some carte blanche, doesn't get to jump out on his own. He has to have the unanimous approval of the speaker and the lieutenant governor.
And more broadly speaking, on the economic record, the unemployment rate is 8.2%. That's below the national average. There is a mixed record here. More jobs created, but a big population growth, and a lot of those jobs were in government jobs and jobs that are very low wage without benefits. So it's a mixed record.
Yeah.
Is that an accurate way to portray it?
No, I think Texas has a very strong record. I think that, one, I would challenge someone to put forward the numbers, because the real numbers are that over the past 10 years, Texas has had one of the top 10 fastest growing wage numbers in the nation. We saw Texas keeping pace, doing better than the rest of the country in terms of employment versus unemployment. 40% of all the jobs created in the United States were created in Texas because we have the right environment. Texas has done the right thing, creating an environment. I think that most folks looking out there, while it may not be fashionable with the latte liberal crowd, but at the end of the day, most people would rather have a job than not have a job. The unemployed of California and the unemployed in New York have been flocking to Texas to look for a job, because Texas is a place that rewards job creators. It's a place where people can come and find work.
Aren't a lot of those jobs, though, in the energy sector, that rising oil prices globally contributed to a lot of the jobs coming into Texas?
Andrea, that's actually not accurate. About 25% of the jobs created have... It's about 25% is the number of jobs created in the oil industry. Even if you back out all of the energy industry job creation, Texas would still be leading the country in job growth. Now, it's interesting to note, though, that with that 25% increase, let's not shove off the idea of energy-related jobs as being somehow insignificant, because the Obama administration over the past couple of weeks has been pushing for policies that would eliminate those jobs, whether it's through U.S. Fish and Wildlife Department rulings to shut down oil and gas production, or the recent rulings from the EPA that would shut down big portions of our power grid, pushing people out of jobs. Again, I thought our focus was on creating jobs. Texas has been creating jobs that people flock to Texas to take. I guess the editorial pages may not like it, but people prefer to be employed. And Texas has been a place where people can't have a great deal of assurance that they can find a job when they're looking for a job.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sullivan. Thanks very much, Michael Sullivan from Austin.